Hi, I'm Leslie Chapman Henderson, President and CEO of FLASH, the nonprofit Federal Alliance for Safe Homes. I'm going to be your host today for our podcast, Strong Homes, Safe Families, where we help you prepare for disasters of all kinds. During our show, we will share our tips, information, and interviews so you can protect your family and your home before Mother Nature heads your way. Today, we're talking about getting prepared for hurricane season with an emphasis on financial security. And that means insurance. Specifically, what happens during a catastrophe claim and what you can do to ensure a smooth process. I'm delighted to welcome our guest, Elizabeth Gulick, to help us answer these questions and share her experiences. Elizabeth is a Vice President of Claims Operations from USAA, and she's a valued member of our Board of Directors representing USAA. USAA is a 22-year FLASH founding and legacy partner. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Leslie.
So, Elizabeth, can we start with you telling us about your career? I know it's been quite an extensive journey for you with USA and how you came to your role there today.
Sure, Leslie, and thank you for having me today. As mentioned, my name is Elizabeth Gulick, and I am privileged to lead the USAA catastrophe experience for our members. Our mission in serving military families is actually a promise we've made to our members. In their greatest time of need, like we're talking about today in catastrophes, we're there to help our members facilitate their financial security. So I've served in this current role of catastrophe experience for the past 3 years. And during my 34-year tenure at USAA, I have served our members in various operational claim functions. I began my career on the front line as a claims representative 34 years ago and worked through the adjuster levels of handling auto claims, liability, casualty, litigation. And then I began my leadership journey in 97. And in my leadership, I've served in various functional roles in the claims organization as a manager, director, and an executive. And as an executive leader, I've run our auto and property operations, quality, national catastrophe and flood operations, claims policy and process. I've just had a wonderful opportunity to do many things. But ultimately, I have led our catastrophe response for about a decade throughout my career. And I'll tell you, each opportunity has afforded me and taught me so much, amplifying my passion to serve and really be the best we can be for our membership and community at large.
Elizabeth, I imagine in your role after catastrophes that you have gone and visited in many communities after events like hurricanes and wildfires. Can you tell us what it's like to be there on the ground after an event like a catastrophe, a hurricane, wildfire, earthquake, or other event like that?
What I've learned, Leslie, is it really doesn't matter how many CAT sites I've been to. Each one feels like the first one for me. It's the visual impact that grips me. I can never quite get my mind wrapped around the magnitude and the power of the wrath of Mother Nature. That's what strikes me. And you see, the impact is really to the entire community. And when you get out there on the ground, you're seeing the desperate need of resources and direction and guidance. You also always see the best and the worst of humanity. But thankfully, the best of humanity rises up, and people care for one another. This is why I love our industry so much and why I love working in this industry, as it is all about serving, caring, and really helping individuals get back on their feet and on their road to recovery. And what usually you and I both know is one of the hardest times of their lives.
Absolutely. And it's very clear that your experience has really created and sustained your passion for helping people recover from catastrophe. And I think I would guess it has really helped form your outlook on resilience.
Absolutely, it has. It's why I'm so passionate about resilience and why at USAA we are resolved and driven in helping our members to mitigate their exposure and develop resiliency to these catastrophic events. I've seen firsthand from my experiences that fortified building works, and I know you have seen that as well. We really have seen it over and over in these most recent hurricanes in the last few years, where homes are still standing with zero to limited damage. And more importantly, families are able to return to them and live without displacement. So we know that our members who are recovering from catastrophes and all individuals recovering are faced with a uniquely complex set of circumstances. And it is not enough today to just handle a claim and make a payment timely. That's the promise. We have to do that, and that's not enough anymore. I think it's critically important for us to be good stewards for our members' trust in us, and by engaging with them before, during, and after catastrophes. We need to be providing them the information that helps them facilitate their financial security when it comes to repairing their lives well before any event is happening. And then once an event does happen, it's important for us to help them build back stronger and more resilient.
So resilience and the work that we do together is really, put simply, bouncing back. And as we're getting ready for the June 1 beginning of hurricane season, we really are excited this year again to present our program Hurricane Strong. And thank you, USAA, for being a national sponsor again and helping us message and help people figure out how to get ready for hurricanes. I mean, one of the things we know is that a lot of things have to go well in order to achieve that bounce back. Any one of those falls short and you don't recover quickly. And sometimes you don't recover completely or fully ever. So in the Hurricane Strong program, as you know, we have 5 focus areas: personal safety, preparedness, financial security, damage prevention, and then community service. Today, because of your expertise, I'm very excited that we're going to get to focus on the 3rd focus area, which is financial security, which is about insurance and the resources that you have. Specifically, what we want to talk about, again, because of your role at USAA, is helping people understand out there what a catastrophe claim process looks like. In many cases, that claim after that disaster is their first experience with any kind of insurance claim. And they're already under extreme stress and duress as it is. So anything we can do to enlighten them. So thank you for sharing this with us. And let's just get started with, what are the basics of an insurance claim and how does it work?
I will describe it very basically. Once an event occurs, like a natural disaster that we're talking about, the insured will report the claim to their insurance company. Then typically you will have an adjuster assigned. They will scope the damage to the property or any goods, contents or goods that you own, to write an estimate of what it takes to repair the damage. And as we know today in this environment, that can be done physically and or virtually. And then typically the insured is responsible for the deductible amount that they agreed upon when they secured their policy. And once that happens, the insured is then on that quest to hire a contractor who will take care of repairing the damage for them. And then the adjuster will work alongside that insured, or as we call our members, throughout the life of the claim until they get back to a repaired state or a replaced state. So that's the basics of the claims process.
That's very helpful. What are some of the things that people can do to ensure that the process runs smoothly?
Yes. So the first thing is take the time to prepare now. Review your insurance coverage. And we ask people, our insured, our members, to do that annually, every year, to make sure it matches their risk and their needs. This can be done by them calling their insurance representative or agent, have them review the policy, explain the limits and deductibles with them, and talk through what they own so they can identify any coverage gaps. In property insurance, there's several policies, as you know, when it comes to a home, such as a homeowner's policy or a wind or a flood policy in certain areas that the individual may be located throughout the United States. And so ask their representative, is what we share, to give them tips on hurricane risk mitigation that may possibly lower their insurance premiums and, most importantly, better protect their property. The other thing and tip that we give is to be very mindful in choosing contractors when they go to the stage of repair. Beware of contractors who are asking for large amounts of money up front, or contractors whose bids are very low, so low that you think this is just too good to be true, and normally it is. Because contractors such as that may cut corners and they may leave you with problems, after they're gone. So make sure contractors are qualified, licensed, and insured. You can do that by working with your insurance company or calling Better Business Bureau in the local municipality or area for information on reputable contractors. And it's always important to understand with your insurance carrier. I know at USAA, we have digital capabilities, electronic capabilities for our members to not only file their claim on our mobile app or usaa.com/help, but they can also check the status of their claim. And as you stated, there is a lot of emotion following an event. So being able to access digitally your claim to check file status, 24/7 is a really important thing. And that capability helps insureds, our members, through the life of the claim.
Recovering and rebuilding without a weather event can be an undertaking as it is. And I know from my experience, the combo of the two is quite overwhelming. And those are terrific tips. Let's go back to the pre-event, pre-hurricane season steps and tips you can take in the planning aspect. What is a home inventory?
A home inventory is an important thing, and it is a way for an individual to collect all of their goods and understand what all the property is and the goods that they own, and creating a list of that.
And what's the best way to create one with technology in mind? Just use your cell phone and record it for a rainy day?
Sure. Well, I'm going to give real quickly 5 tips. I'll share 5 tips to get that accomplished. And step 1 is you got to make a plan. It is an enormous task to tackle. So a couple tips are choose like one room a day or a week, depending on your time available. And you could also assign a family member to a room and have it be their responsibility to track all the items in an assigned room. Whatever you decide, just don't give up. Make a plan. The second tip I would tell folks is pick a method. So to your point, the easiest way to create this home inventory is through video or photo documentation. That's the easiest way to quickly take stock of all the goods in your home. And I would begin by opening up, as you're in a room, opening up cabinets, closet doors, and looking inside and slowly going through each of those rooms, filming and photographing each of those areas. And as you record, you could simply articulate the details of your furniture, of your electronics. And you could also focus in on serial numbers or model names or numbers on like your large appliances and electronics. And then I would also say be sure that you save copies of the photo and or video that you've taken in 2 places. And today, as many of us, we use cloud storage, right? So you could store that in your computer, in a camera, but just store it in a safe keeping that you could return to later. The third step or tip I'd give is receipt tracking. So when it comes to major appliances or electronics or what we call big ticket purchases, I would store those receipts electronically as well in safekeeping with other important documents where you could access them later. Even if you had like your computer or other things damaged, you still have it in that cloud type storage or safekeeping. And then the fourth tip is registering goods. So today there are a lot of many opportunities for electronics and appliance purchases where the manufacturer allows you to register those goods. So that's an additional place that they could store information. And then finally, if none of the electronic ways work, that's not what floats your boat. I would say the final step could be a spreadsheet inventory. This will be the most time consuming, but you could take a spreadsheet and actually go room by room, document and catalog the date purchased, the item name, the manufacturer, where purchased, things like that, and then keep that again in safekeeping where you would keep other important documents. So those are just a few quick tips, but electronically would be the easiest way to document the inventory.
And how big of a difference does it make for the adjuster for when someone has an up-to-date inventory?
You know, experiencing a catastrophe is one of the most significant, traumatic, and disruptive events a person can walk through. And because of that, having this inventory documented is really important because after events, Leslie, you've seen it, there is extreme anxiety and emotions and stress going on. So spending the time ahead of the event will absolutely save you valuable time post-event when you're working with your insurance company and whether, they require that inventory.
So that is it sounds like one of the most essential aspects of preparedness is to get that home inventory by any measure. And those are really great tips. And the cloud, I've been around catastrophes pre-mobile phones. And the idea of the cloud is so,
you and I both.
so nice because people, it's safe. It's there. You mentioned before, we talked a little bit about what happens after the claim is paid, and you gave us some really great counsel about making sure that you select a vetted contractor and that you get estimates and such, and that all that is done. Are there additional things once the claim is paid, once it's adjusted and paid? Are there other things that homeowners should be doing as part of the recovery journey?
There are. Insurance is designed to help repair or replace a home or goods lost, right? And you want to make sure that the insurance check is used to ensure quality repair work. We encourage our insureds, our members, to always obtain multiple estimates from various professionals and to ensure that they are qualified and that their repairs are done properly. We also strongly encourage, when we talk about resilience, we encourage that you consider mitigation upgrades like a sealed roof deck, stronger resistant roofing, hurricane shutters, there's windproof rated garage doors, fire resistant construction. There are many ways that will help individuals avoid future losses. Another thing that we believe is very important is the rebuilding of emergency savings funds. We know that from our research, individuals are out of pocket money, even insured wealth. And so building that emergency fund back up is important. And then I cannot say enough how it is important to review insurance coverages at least once a year and update with significant changes that you may have made to the home or property in between those annual reviews as well.
Those are good tips because for all of the counsel on how to get through the claim, I think those post-claim tips are not always, I think those will be, I'm not sure everyone's always heard those before. So that especially, putting the savings back together because you got to meet that deductible. And we know from past hurricane seasons here in Florida that we can have back-to-back events with multiple needs for deductibles and other out-of-pocket expenses. So those are just terrific tips. So Elizabeth, with all of great advice, and I'm certain if people follow it, they will have as smooth as possible a process during a difficult and trying time. Is there one biggest, single, most important message that you'd like to leave everybody with today?
There is. It's to have a plan. You and your family's well-being depends on it. The most common phrase I have heard from individuals impacted, I've heard this on every single event that I have visited. It's this phrase, I didn't think it would happen to us. And that sears me. It's better to be prepared now with your plan than trying to do it in the moment of urgency. And a plan allows you to be financially, mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared, as this can be critical to your family's resilience. And so it's making a plan. And especially now in this environment, there is so much uncertainty, so much change that has occurred to us over the past couple months that don't be too hard on yourself. If you feel like you're lagging behind in getting your family prepared for a natural disaster in this upcoming season, what I would offer is instead use any extra time that you may have to talk with your family about what a catastrophe could look like and engage in a way where everyone is part of getting your family ready for a potential event that lies ahead.
Thank you so much. And thank you again, Elizabeth Gulick with USAA and everyone for listening to this week's episode of Strong Homes, Safe Families. Please visit us at hurricanestrong.org and access our free checklist and information about the many affordable do-it-yourself preps you can use to protect your family and your home. Our content's available in English and Spanish, and you can call us toll-free 877-221-SAFE if you have a question, or you can email us at info@flash.org. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, share, and provide a review on iTunes. Until next time.